Welcome back to another exciting episode of Live with RxMuscle's March to the Olympia 2015, sponsored by Results Nutrition. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm here with the Boston Mass himself, JOSE Raymond. How's it going?
How are you doing?
I thought Johnny was playing a little intro for you there. It got a little noisy.
I heard it.
People always say, what are you going to talk to Jose about, because you talk to him a lot. And I say, tonight's show is beer, babes, and barbells. How's that sound?
That's perfect.
That's right up your alley, right?
Yeah, of course.
You're not drinking beer still on the diet, are you?
No, I've changed my ways, Dave.
You've given up the Schlitz for the Olympia?
That's it, yeah. I want to win. I'm coming to win this time.
Well, the last 3 years in a row, you've had wins every single year. You're on a great streak. This past year was phenomenal for you. Obviously, winning the inaugural Arnold Classic Men's 212. It was close. It went down to the wire. You emerged victorious. It's got to be tremendous momentum for you going into this year's Olympia. Last year's Olympia, very close. A lot of people, thinking, myself included, Flex Lewis was off his game. You and Eduardo Correa really pushing Flex probably harder than he's ever been pushed. A lot of people thinking maybe you or Eduardo should have got the win. I have to think now with the Arnold win, you beating Eduardo there, going into this Olympia, you got to be the main threat to Flex Lewis's throne.
You know what, Dave? I think I was last year. I think I was the year before. I always think I am. And, when all is said and done, I've always said I'm the only one who's missing the least that can beat him. They can come in as hard enough and have just the right amount of muscle to be able to beat him. Everyone else, David's legs were lagging. That's why he was second to him. Eduardo's legs were lagging. His arms were lagging. I have nothing that's lagging. All I need to do is nail the condition, stay big, full, and hard, and he's going to be in for a nightmare.
Coming off the Arnold win, obviously, you got Arnold raising your hand up, getting to interview you. Obviously, arguably, you've gotten more publicity from that show than Flex Lewis has gotten from winning the Olympia. I think a lot of more people know who JOSE Raymond is now. You've become a household name because of that win. Does that make you feel good? Do you feel validated?
I do. Because as you know, I've been at this a long time. And, it took a big win like this for me to get respected by a lot of the people within the bodybuilding community, a lot of the fans that may not like my physique, but have to respect it. And that's more important to me. I don't care if you like my physique or not. I want to be appreciated for what I've done and the hard work that I've put in and what I do for the sport, I do a lot of promotion within this sport, a lot of promotion. Flex texted me the other day thanking me for all the effort I put in hyping up the Olympia. So I'm the only one saying stuff and putting out videos and putting up pictures and talking trash. And, it's important to try and pump this sport up because there's so very little opportunities for us.
Now, Jose, your story is very similar to Dexter Jackson's in the sense that you started as a lightweight. You were a lightweight bodybuilder. Competing under 150 pounds. Now you're on stage at 215 pounds. Is it a little mind-boggling when you look back at the pictures of when you started? You competed at the 9014 Nationals, It's incredible the transformation that I've seen your physique take over the years.
Yeah. And this is a little bit of trivia. This will be the first time since 1994 that I'll get on stage and compete against Craig Richardson again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Overall there at the Teen Nationals that year, right?
Yeah, he won. He was crazy. Crazy back then.
Craig looked at the Teen Nationals then like he looks now. Matter of fact, his physique might have been better then.
Better then.
Yeah, it was probably better.
It was crazy.
You won the lightweight class there, and he won the light heavyweight class?
Yeah, he was 196 pounds. He won the overall. He probably would have won the collegiate and everything because King Kamali won that year, and Craig was unbelievable. He really was.
Now, it's interesting because this is kind of going to be like revenge for you, because if you beat him here 21 years later, I guess we could all say that Jose Raymond became the better bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Arguably be heavier than him here. That's even more of a crazy
Oh, I
statistic.
bet I will be. I bet I will be, and I'll be bigger. That's for sure.
In your mind, what are Flex Lewis's biggest weaknesses that you hope to exploit?
If he believes the hype, if he believes and starts drinking Neil Hill's Kool-Aid, that he is untouchable, unbeatable, this and that. The minute you believe that shit is when you go down. Now I know Flex as a champion, and he's gonna leave no stone unturned, and you know he don't believe that, but that would be a weakness. You know, physique wise, I think he's not as thick front to back as me. So there are a lot of shots that he kind of feigned angles. You know, he makes up a side tricep. It's not really a side tricep. It's a front pretty pose. It's a his side chest is kind of weird because he doesn't want to stand side, you know, in a real side chest, because I got him in front to back thickness. You know, front overall just gnarly hardness. I beat him. So, you know, you said something the other night in the guru thing, and this is his strength, is that he presents himself so well that some of the judges just get lost, and they can actually have someone next to him that is smoking him in muscularity and condition, but you just look at him, wow, look how pretty he looks. Well, fucking look at everyone, will you? You know, everyone has something strong. It's not a men's physique show. It's not a pretty boy Magic Mike show. It's a bodybuilding show, you know, and he's got weaknesses like any human being. So, you know, if I think all things considered, and I think with the more size I've added, my shape is better. You know, for many years people were saying you're too big, you got to get lighter. Well, I tried that and my shape was worse. So now in these last few shows, I've been better and better and better. My shape was better because I was fuller and my taper was better. I just looked rounder. It was a much better look. So I'm going to be as big as a house, and my shape will be better. And I know I'm going to be harder than him in every way, shape, or form.
Now, you know, Flex is living down there in Florida, obviously, you know, playing with his dogs he breeds and everything like that. But you're still the working man's bodybuilder. You're up in Boston. You're training clients at the gym. You know, the matter of fact, a lot of guys are in Vegas already, like, you know, being babysat by their trainers out there. You're working. You know, you go into the gym. You drove 3 hours to train with Evan Centopani and pose with Kenny Wallach today. I mean, is it that you know, eye of the tiger you got, that hunger that keeps you improving every year?
I know it is. That's exactly what it is. That I, you know, I want to be the best, and I want to, you know, I don't have those crazy contracts that allow me to sit at home and sleep till noon. You know, by noon, I've already done 5 training appointments. I've already done an hour of cardio. I've already eaten 3 meals, you know, and then I come home and I rest, run errands, do whatever I got to do. And I go back and do more appointments and train myself. And that's an everyday thing. On Sunday, I did 5 appointments. And, you know, it's a way of life for me. I have to do this. I don't have, you know, and a lot of people are the same way. But I think that is definitely a benefit to me as opposed to some of these other guys, you know, and being tired and being weak on stage, being depleted, you know, is not anything new to me. You know, I'm not going to be whining about it. I'm tired, but I'm still ready for battle.
Question. This year, the weigh-in is a day earlier than it has in the past, which would mean that the guys who have trouble making weight, I'm assuming the bigger guys, the taller guys, have an extra day to fill up. Do you see this as a disadvantage to someone like yourself who seems to have an easier time making weight and filling out?
I used to see it as a disadvantage, but as far as I'm concerned, pound for pound, I'm the biggest guy in the class. So I don't need to worry about anyone else. They can fill out all they want. They're just going to get softer, or their stomachs are going to get fuller. I don't need to worry about anyone else. I worry about coming in at my best. I don't have to eat a ton to be full. I posed for Evan today, and I had one meal in me, and he was like, "You're bursting at the seams," and I'm like, "I have less than 50 grams of carbs in me. You know, I know that I need very little food to be at my best, so they can eat all that they want. I don't need to do that."
But Jose, do you think this is a 212 Mr. Olympia contest? I mean, if you have the weigh-in, too far in advance, it really doesn't become a 212 show anymore. It becomes a 215 or 217 show. Is it unfair? Do you think there should only be 24 hours between the weigh-in and the getting on stage, or are you okay with the 2 days before?
Well, I have to be okay with it, Dave. But no, when I was smaller, I didn't like the idea. I was like, it was gonna make a difference because I really was only gonna be 205 on stage, where someone like Eduardo might be 218, 219. And he's almost 4 inches taller than me. So I didn't like it. It's not going to affect me, so I don't really worry about it too much. It'll affect guys like Sean Clarita. I'm going to be 60 pounds bigger than him. You know, the smaller guys, where they might have had a better shot had everyone had to weigh 212 or less. But, it is what it is. As long as we all got to pay by the same rules, it is what it is.
What do you think about the idea? I've been talking about this with Chris Aceto over the last couple shows we've done, but I would like to see at the end of the evening on Saturday a pose down between the Open Mr. Olympia champ and the 212 champ for the overall. What do you think about that idea?
Sure, it would be entertaining. I don't think it could be taken too seriously. Just because, say I won, I'm 5'3" and change, Phil's 5'9" and change, or even worse, Dennis Wolf 6'1". You can't even compare them. It's like comparing a men's physique guy to a bodybuilder, or a bikini girl to a
exciting
girl. Huh?
Don't you think it would be exciting to be able to stand next to Mr. Olympia on stage and go toe to toe with him?
Absolutely, yeah. It would be fun. It would be fun, and I think in some of the smaller shows, it would be called for. It would be actually some of the Europa shows. Some of the 212 guys would win.
But let's say Dexter Jackson won the Olympia and you won the 212. Wouldn't you love to pose down next to Dexter? I mean, the weight difference is not that great between you guys.
I would, because he's only about 3-4 inches taller than me, and it'd be fun. He'd still smoke me, but it would be fun. I understand why they don't. There's only so much time. These shows last forever, and it'd be fun. I'd rather just go do the show, an open show, myself.
I'd like to see that. A question for you. Kai Green, the whole debacle that's going on with him not signing the Olympia contract. It doesn't look like he's doing the show, yet we see pictures of him, looking to be in spectacular shape. What's your take on the whole thing? I know you're a very opinionated guy.
Dave, it's not knowing what is going on, it's infuriating. Like I've known Kai for over 20 years. I would like to think that he would at least come out with an excuse. He's sick, he's injured, he's pissed off or something. I mean, talk to someone, let people know what's going on. I don't like it at all. I think it's very immature. I think it's very unprofessional. And I like Kai. I'm a big fan of Kai. He's a super nice guy. I just don't know what's going on. And everyone's asking me. I'm getting text messages from all over the world. Is this real? Is this true? I have no idea. But I think he should be letting someone know something. It's really not cool at all. Whatever's going on is not cool. It doesn't even make sense. Now, if he shows up, they shouldn't let him compete. Period. He pulled this shit. He didn't sign his thing. everyone else did. Everyone else did follow the rules and did what they were supposed to do. And he's not even answering questions. What about his guru? What does George have to say about this? You could damn well bet if something happened to myself or Roden or Cedric, or Chris would answer a question. He's sick. He got in a car accident. He did something, whatever. But nobody's answering anybody. It's a crock of shit is what it is.
Yeah. From what I understand, I don't even think George knows what's going on. I don't think even he's gotten a phone call. So it's typical drama from Kai Green that we would expect at any show. It seems like every year there's always something dramatically happening in the Kai Green camp, whether it be him falling off a treadmill or him pulling out of the show or him starting a fight with Phil Heath on stage. I mean, it's always Kai drama, and I agree with you. I don't think that they should allow him to compete if he shows up and just tries to go on stage. I mean, let's face it, there are rules and, they have to be instituted. As much as I'm dying to see him on stage because I am a Kai Green fan like you are.
Of course. It's just, I don't understand it. So it's hard for me to comment, but I do have like some pretty strong feelings about it. But it's at the same time, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be disrespectful to him if he's sick and or had a death in the family and he's not really the most normal person in dealing with his feelings and stuff. So I don't know.
The 212 division, obviously the prejudging is going to be taking place Saturday at the convention center up on the expo stage there. The finals will take place on Saturday night. Do you like competing all in one day? Because the men open have to do 2 days.
I prefer one day, yeah, for sure. It's two nights, and a lot can happen in that period of time. And if you've done your homework and did things the right way, you shouldn't need 2 days to peak. You should be able to nail it, hold it, and go home and enjoy your win or enjoy your success of whatever you did. I much prefer what we're doing. Although I would like to be webcast. Nobody can see our prejudging.
Oh.
All you're going to hear is how beautiful Flex was.
Well, at least we get to see it at night, so that's better than they used to do. What do you think about the women's physique and the men's physique? They don't even get to go on the big stage at the Orleans Arena. No one even gets to see them. Is that a mistake in your mind?
Yes and no. One, it's so new still, and there's only so much time, as I said earlier, and I personally would rather see the 212 guys than the men's physique guys. The women's physique is pretty awesome, and but it is just only so much time. Eventually they'll put them on the main stage, but why can't they go Friday night? Isn't the women's fitness finals on Friday night?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's no Miss Olympia now, so I would think that they would have stuck the women's physique in where the Miss Olympia used to be. So, but they're not doing that. And now that Bodybuilding.com is not sponsoring the show, they don't have to give all those stupid Bodybuilding.com awards out, which take another, half hour. I would think that they'd be able to sneak the men's physique in there. So I think that, if we're going to celebrate these divisions as Olympia titles, that, these guys should be able to compete on a stage where, the whole world can see them live streamed. And, people, as a competitor yourself, the greatest accolade is to get on the Olympia stage. The second greatest accolade is to be seen on the Olympia stage, other than just pictures.
I think ultimately it comes down to money. So now you have more people buying tickets for different prejudgings. If they all came to the same finals, you'd have less people buying ones to go to the other one, I don't
think you could even buy tickets for the expo thing. It's the VIP ticket holders can sit in the seats for the expo aspects of the prejudgings. But I think it's right. I think it comes down to time is really what it amounts to. Are you one of these people that needs a lot of nurturing at these shows? Like I know Aceto has his whole crop staple of athletes between the Cedric McMillans and Sean Rodens and you and Eduardo. Are you a guy that needs a lot of nurturing, or do you seem to be like one of these guys that just needs a check here and there and you're pretty good to go?
I'm fine. I know the food I eat. I know the food that works well with me. I bring it all myself. I freeze it, pack it in my luggage, take it, and then, I don't even like the idea of driving over to see him. Rather just, see him once or twice over the weekend. He'll take a peek at me. He knows I'm ready. I'm pretty much on autopilot. I just like the last minute tweaks. And that's it. I've been doing this a long time. And not only have I been doing it a long time, but I've done a lot of shows. I've averaged, 5 shows a year since I started competing. So we're talking, I've done like 100 shows in bodybuilding.
Unbelievable. Do you see yourself quitting anytime soon, or are you still all in?
I'm all in. I feel great, Dave. So as long as I feel good and good things are happening and I'm happy and I'm still able to make a living, then there's no reason for me to stop. I'm a young 40, and I'll be 41 December 29th, and I'm still feel so young. I mean, I'm getting better. Look at Dexter. And I think there is a similarity between us, in that we have longevity because we never just exploded. We started small, 143, 152, 165, 170, progressively. You didn't see this huge jump. And we both, know our bodies and train pretty smart. And I think we just keep getting better.
Well, December 29th, my son might be born on the same day. I'm praying. We have a due date of January 10th, but I'm praying he gets born in 2015 so I get the tax savings on my taxes.
Yeah, and you can name him Jose.
Yeah, there you go. We're looking for names. Maybe I'll ask my wife. I'll see what she thinks. You got to win the Olympia, though, if I'm going to name him after you.
All right, that's a deal.
All right. Well, Jose, best of luck in Las Vegas. We'll, of course, be there all weekend long covering you. And I'm rooting for you. I want you coming home with that Olympia title.
I know you are, Dave. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, that takes us to end of another episode of Live with RxMuscle's March to the Olympia 2015, sponsored by Results Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo. We'll see you next time.